anti-dumping duties and import restriction measures to ensure that domestic producers are not unfairly disadvantaged. Aware that even though the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority has recently revised the standards of diesel importation into Nigeria in line with the Petroleum Industry Act 2021, it is apparent that they are incapable of enforcing compliance with the standards. Also aware that NMDPR has persistently continued to issue import licenses for diesel and jet fuel despite sufficient local production capacity. Therefore, the best option for protecting Nigerians and our local refineries against dumping may be to place a ban on the importation of diesel as long as our local refineries can meet the Nigerian demands. We are further aware that this proposed ban on importation of diesel will be beneficial to the Nigerian petroleum industry and indeed the entire nation. The Senate observes that the inability to inaugurate modular refineries as well as get existing refineries to be fully functional to discharge their function to meet local demands for clean petroleum products would make Nigeria a dump site for dirty fuel. Concerned that importation of substandard diesel has both human and mechanical consequences, as toxic emissions from the diesel contribute to respiratory illnesses and other health issues, as well as degrade engine life that would force consumers to deal with frequent vehicle and generator breakdowns with attendant higher maintenance costs. Also concerned that local refineries cannot compete favorably if there is no adequate protection and regulation against dumping, and this will undermine the growth and sustainability of the domestic refineries, thereby leading to job losses and economic downturn. Mr. President, I want to say that we demand that we need a major reform. Ed must know in the Nigerian Petroleum Corporation and even other agencies of the government that are saddled with this responsibility. Because all these allegations is just one out of the numerous investigations we have to do in this sector. So I will be imploring that we should do an holistic investigation, because by the time we start treating this motion at the committee level, there will be other issues that will come up. So we must mandate the committee that will be handling this to make sure, at least, because look at the challenges we have. There are more information that is new to us that we cannot even share here. NNPC, Nigeria Upstream and Downstream, needs to be investigated. All sorts of money to maintenance of Nigeria refineries. Now we have refineries that are working, and a Nigerian who believes in the future of our country at a time when the pressure on foreign exchange is so strong that the naira is promoted every day. A Nigerian find comfort in the words of in this particular paragraph to continue to issue licenses for the importation of substandard, dangerous chemicals in the name of diesel. I agree absolutely that we need to have a strong, well-empaneled ad hoc committee to carry out thorough investigation and to investigate the leadership of the institution that is responsible for issuing these licenses. Mr. President, until we begin to punish, dismiss, and prosecute people who are undermining our collective well-being, we're going to smile away. I do not believe that these are errors of the head. I believe the gentleman or gentlemen involved in this are doing it on purpose to collect rents for their pocket and undermine the economy of Nigeria. It is important, Mr. President, to highlight the summary of this motion. And the summary of this motion precisely gives us the tragic history, the tragic history of Nigeria as a nation. As an oil-producing nation for 50 years or thereabout, this nation is still battling with the issue of auditing, the issue of sampling, and the issue of fault validation.
In other climes across the world, these are given, but because we're a nation that has not shown any capacity, any seriousness, especially in this sector that we all depend on. And that's why we're having issues within the industry. Finally, Mr. President, if this is what the 10th Senate will achieve in its 4 years existence going forward, if this is the only thing that the 10th Senate will achieve, please, for God's sake, let's try to achieve it. Let's show Nigerians that is not business as usual.
If the intention of unbundling the NNPC was to bring in more investment, then we have failed. I think what has happened is that even the names now are confusing. Modular refineries going on. We have the one from Dangote, and then we are issuing licenses every day. As you open newspapers, you see licenses to bring in what? Diesel, bring in fuel, bring in this, bring in that. We are not even encouraging local production. America and many other countries do everything to protect their local production in order to save jobs. So this August Assembly must rise to the occasion